please. For anybody else that's joining us, I'm supposed to mention that if you're not on video, if you wish to speak at an appropriate time, please identify yourself so that we know who you are. Christine French is with me here off camera. She's taking minutes for today. So we'll begin. Calling the meeting to order. Gentlemen, if you could review and approve the minutes for August 20th at our regular meeting.
So moved.
Yep.
I got one word that I think is not right.
Yes.
It's on the last page, part of item number 13, public comments, and the first paragraph on the last page, Michael Dougherty.
Yeah.
And then the last line of that paragraph, it says, I think that means it's supposed to be expedite.
Oh, okay. Expedite the year-end transfers.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Seriously, I think expedite or expedite is also correct.
Is that
Again,
right?
I'm not a big Scrabble player, but I think expedite could be used.
Okay.
That was my thought too.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Then if that's your wish, then that's what's fine with me.
Okay. All right. So everybody's in agreement with the minutes.
Yep.
Thank you. Discuss and vote to approve municipal certification resolution for STEEP 2020. I think for just the folks that are do not have it, I will read it because it's short. Gentlemen, you each have copies of it, I believe. Municipal certification resolution. This is for STEEP, which would be a grant. It says, I, Judy Wahlberg, Town Clerk of the Town of Woodstock Municipality, organized and existing under the laws of the state of Connecticut, hereby certify that the following is a true copy of the resolution adopted at the representative town meeting of said municipality at the regular monthly meeting held on September 3rd, 2020. Resolved that First Selectman John V. Swan Jr. be and hereby is authorized to accept on behalf of the town of Woodstock a 2020 Connecticut STEEP grant in the amount of $128,205 for the County Road Culvert project. And further resolved that First Selectman John V. Swan Jr. is hereby authorized to enter into and execute any and all agreements, contracts, and documents necessary to obtain the said 2020 STEEP grant with the state of Connecticut. I do further certify the above resolution has in no way been altered, amended, or revoked, and is in full force and effect. And I do further certify that John V. Swan Jr. is the first selectman of the town of Woodstock, has been since November 19th, 2019. In witness whereof, I have hereto set my hand and affixed the seal the town of Woodstock, this third day of September 2020. Signature, town clerk, and seal for town of Woodstock.
Jay, is this for the culvert that goes underneath the lower section right at 169?
Yes, what had happened was they, if you remember, had done over that bridge and had done a real quick job of it. Part of that continuation would be the culvert that goes under the lower part of County Road. So if you take a right off 169 going towards the fire department, it's that initial culvert, I believe it's called Gravelly Brook. It goes under the bridge that was replaced. It also turns, it goes underneath County Road. But yes, it's that culvert.
Okay.
So if you gentlemen are in agreement, and I hear a second, then we will approve it.
I have a question. I have a
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
It says in the very tail end of the first paragraph, it says adopted at the representative town meeting on September 3rd, 2020. That's today.
That's right, because there is no town meeting,
Right.
because this and many of the things we've been doing have been done in conjunction with the executive orders of the governor.
Should this be revised to state that?
No,
It's saying that
what it is
we're having a town meeting.
well, we're accepting this, the Board of Selectmen are accepting this in lieu of a town meeting, because we are doing this in conjunction with an executive order from the governor of the state of Connecticut. And Greg, I know what you're saying about the language, but this is the language, legalese, if you will, that they're using, because there are no, we're obeying the executive orders. This obviously is not a town meeting, but this Board of Selectmen's meeting is in lieu of the town meeting, where normally this would go through a town meeting.
It creates the selectman as the representative of a town meeting.
Okay.
Because, as I've said in the past, we are elected by the citizens of the town to represent their best interests. So if we had a town meeting, they could come and vote for it. But since we can't have a town meeting, we're acting on their behalf.
Okay.
So are you moving?
I'll second that. Chandler moved it, right?
Yep.
Somebody moved it, yeah.
Okay.
I'll second that. All right.
All right. So we'll make it unanimous.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, next thing we have, number 4, a tax rebate it's an adjustment for a veteran's exemption. It was omitted on GL 2018 for a motor vehicle via tax rebate to Robert C. Parizzo in the amount of $158.
Make a motion to approve the tax rebate as listed.
Second.
Okay, unanimous, thank you. Correspondence and announcements. I have a letter from let us see. I have a letter from the Teamsters Local 493, International Brotherhood of Teamsters. This is from Bevan Sweet, who's the Secretary Treasurer of the Local 493. They're notifying us effective immediately, Jason Scranton has been duly elected steward to represent Teamsters Local 493 members employed by the town of Woodstock at the Highway Department. And that's effective August 27th. Let's see. I also had an update from George McCoy talking about the safety patrol updates. He just said they continue to maintain 2 to 3 patrols a week. They stagger them between days and hours so that there's no pattern. Things in town have been fairly quiet. They've had a couple of odd occurrences that they've called into dispatch. One of them was a number of teenagers, 13 to 15 years of age, about 2 o'clock in the morning, throwing rocks at signs on 169. So, it's like the old thing about it's 10 o'clock, do you know where your children are? They're slowly recruiting more people. They now have 10 patrol volunteers. They're moving quickly towards incorporation as a nonprofit. They have a nice board of directors with a variety of folks in the community that are volunteering to serve on the board of directors. Anyway, things are going well with them. They seem pleased. I've heard back from people in town. They're pleased with just the presence of folks in various parts of town driving around. Got a letter of thanks for the town making a donation to the Sexual Assault Crisis Center of Eastern Connecticut. They're very appreciative of our support of their agency. They are available to people in town, but also regionally. They provide 24-hour accompaniment, crisis intervention, and counseling at no cost to victims. So anyway, it's just thanking us for our support. I have, and I'm not going to go through the details. I received yesterday just the periodic report from the Environmental Corporation. They monitor wells down in the area of the Frog Pond Road near the elementary school. There were 4 homes down there that they've been monitoring wells for a number of years. I would say things are stable. I haven't done any comparison as far as is this better than it was 3 months ago? I can't tell you that, but I will tell you that it's stable what they're coming up with by monitoring the water. I'm not going to go through all the details on this. I've got a copy of an email from Don Adaletta. And Greg, and actually it was Jan, shared with Greg and I. Basically, the Property Review Board is moving forward with Department of Agriculture. And what they're doing is moving forward with the property previously Elm Farm, which is, this is near the final process of the state's process to complete the approval, Maple Crest, I'm sorry, I said Elm Farm, Maple Crest Farm, and they're looking at September. And I believe Dawn is there, I look up, there she is. Dawn, hang in one sec. You know, I'd be interested in your comments when we get up to citizen comments. That actually, gentlemen, is all I have for correspondence and announcements. So we come to public comments, and Dawn Adaletta is joining us now. Hi, Dawn.
Okay. Hi. Good to see you all. I'm sorry that you didn't all receive a copy of that. For whatever reason, it bounced back from you, Jay, and from you, Frank. So I don't know why, but Chan was good enough to make sure you all got a copy of it. The State Review Board, as the note said, is coming to Maple Crest Farm next Wednesday to do their final assessment of the property before signing off. And that means that the last thing to do is the town of Woodstock to vote to approve releasing the open space funds to purchase our share of the development rights. I know we talked about this last spring, and you all were going to talk with town attorneys, et cetera, to determine what the best course of action was to have as public a town meeting as possible for this to happen. I understand the representative town meeting, but if we could have a public forum perhaps to allow people to learn more about it, that would be a good thing as well.
Don, in answer to your point, we have been talking to Rich Roberts, the town attorney, because there have been, in fact, you and I have had discussions about some ordinances, as have others in town with some potential ordinances. I don't have a firm answer for you. As far as we had talked about approaching the school to perhaps use the gymnasium at the middle school, which is a large enough area that we could spread chairs out and have what I feel would be a representative town meeting. This is important enough to go forward. The other thing that has just occurred in the last few days, which you may all be aware of, is there was an extension of executive orders through February. It's created a lot of angst, if you will, in Hartford among the legislature. They are still going back and forth on the news, if you will, with their feelings, whether or not it's the right thing to do, whatever. That said, I will have to check with Rich Roberts and see with this extension of executive orders, if this is something, your request is something that we, as the board representing the town, if we could approve without a town meeting. Again, I don't have a firm answer for you today because this extension of executive orders just came about in the last couple of days, and we just don't know what the implications are.
But it is possible we could handle it the same way we handled item 3.
Um, yes. Yes, it's possible, but I want to make sure we're on firm ground. Because again, as I said way back when these executive orders came out, and there were a number of things, for instance, the budget that we approved, and we couldn't do it through town meetings. It bothered me because, you know, New England, if you will, is the basis of democracy with the town meeting form of government. And it may come to pass, Chan, that we may have to do that. But I want to get a firm answer from Rich Roberts just to make sure that we are doing the right thing.
Dawn, are we against any kind of a deadline?
Don, I think
I'm
you're
sorry.
muted. There you go.
Yeah, yes, but I was going to say, if you asked me a question, I lost you all there for a few minutes. I'm trying to move to an area that might have better reception. So the last I heard was that you didn't know.
My question to you, Dawn, is do we have a deadline that we're up against? I mean, obviously,
It
we want to
should
get this done. We want to get it through for everybody's betterment.
Yeah, I think by the end of the year, and certainly for the landowner, the sooner the better. I would hate to have, this would be the first time the town was the final step. Usually we have the vote before everybody else signs off. So if the board, the property board comes next week and they're happy and they sign off, which is presumed, that would leave the town of Woodstock as the final in this deal. And that would be a first.
Don, would that delay?
That
It
would
would
delay
delay-
the property owner. That would delay the property owner from getting the check that they have
Okay.
been
Well,
in need of, yes.
well, given that we all know them and love them, I guess we're going to try to do whatever we can. You know,
Well,
so-
it's not a matter of that we like them. It's a matter of what's the most open and responsible thing to do.
and the right
you know,
thing to do. I agree with you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree. Okay. Yeah, again, I'm going to have to, in this recent extension of executive orders, I don't know what the implications are. This came up twice today earlier in other discussions with other people. So again, I'm going to have to check with Rich and firm that up.
And if you're moving in that direction towards a representative town meeting, which I understand the legality of, this particular vote would not have required a referendum. So it really would have required only an in-room town meeting, because
Okay.
the amount the town is releasing and expending is under $100,000. So it doesn't meet that additional threshold of requiring a referendum.
Okay.
So if that factors into the town attorney's decision as to whether we can do it representatively, I just want as many people to know about this as possible so that they can let you know ahead of time if, God forbid, there's any issues. Because I don't want it challenged. I don't want it challenged. I don't believe it would be, but I don't want to give anybody a reason to do so.
I agree. No, again, I think if we're open and honest and straightforward, I agree with you. I think, you know, it's the way to go. And I think people would feel more comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the town has always been very supportive of these projects, and they've passed, the only controversial one passed at a 4-to-1 ratio. Most of them pass at 12-to-1 or 13-to-1. So it's not that I'm thinking that people in town don't want to do this. I again, just want everything to be clear and open and as clear as possible.
Okay.
We need
All
people
right.
to understand where the funding comes from as well.
Yeah. Now, we have put together a PowerPoint presentation that normally would have been used at a town meeting, and Celebrating Ag is posting that. I can forward that to the Board of Selectmen. If you would like to see that, that answers a lot of the questions that voters normally have, and it's there in writing. If that would be helpful for you to have, I'll be happy to forward that to you. Or I don't know, maybe we can post it on the town's website. I don't know.
We You know, I think, yes, I agree with you, only because the town website is like new and improved, and I think it was just launched this week. And there's a few minor, and I mean minor bugs. And we're trying to make it, number one, user-friendly and all accessible so that people will be able to get what information. But that, Don, I think maybe if we contact you next week, that would be a good place
Sure.
to put it so that people could, answer, have their own questions answered, because we all know how this all works. And there are those people many times that, oh my God, my taxes are going to go up. No, it has nothing to do with your taxes. It has to do with future development and keeping things in an agricultural manner, so to benefit everybody. So, yeah, we may talk to you next week. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's important for people to know that it's dedicated funds. In this time of severely curtailed budgets, people are concerned that there are other things that need to be funded that may not be funded as fully as we would like. And this is not an either-or situation.
Okay.
The money's already there and may only be used for projects like this. So it's not taking money away from any other project.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn.
Okay, you're welcome. I'll be still here, but I'm
Okay.
going to visually go away.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know who else. I see Diane's name. I don't know whoever private entities might be out there, but if there's any other public comments from anybody or questions or whatever. No? Going once? Twice? Okay. All right, Shannon, Greg, anything from committee?
Do you have any updates yet from the DOT about the light at 169 and?
Believe it or not, no. And the reason I say, no, seriously, the reason I say that is you asked 2 weeks ago, and no, nothing has changed.
It's my monthly question.
Okay, all right.
Right. And did you get a chance to call who you were going to call about the telephone pole, utility pole at the end of New Sweden Road?
I talked to John this afternoon. He came in this afternoon. That's something we're going to pursue. As I told you, Greg, today, I thought that had been taken care of. I did tell you the story, right? Frontier?
Frontier. It's Frontier's pole. They're the owner.
No. It's Eversource.
They've
Eversource,
already replaced it.
they replaced it, but the problem is Frontier is the only entity that hasn't moved their lines. Frontier went Chapter 11. So getting a hold of them is like, getting tickets for a Red Sox-Yankees game. Very difficult to get a hold of. They also, Greg, I think I told you, they replaced all the poles on County Road down to Woodstock Road in East Woodstock. We've got double poles there. We're trying to get Eversource to take out the old poles. Eversource has moved their lines, as has the cable company. Again, we can't get Frontier to move their lines, so we get double poles on that line, plus the one that you mentioned was damaged. By the way, yours is stable. It is stable, but I agree with you. It looks
Scary. It looks scary.
I've seen it. I went down to look at it because one of your neighbors was calling frequently and sending me photographs. When I didn't hear from her for a while, I thought it had been taken care of, but obviously not.
Okay. Someday it's going to go. That's all I can tell you. All right.
No, it is stabilized because Eversource put another pole in and connected the two of them. So the one that I know how it looks, but it's stable. It's not going anyplace.
All right.
So, it's on the radar anyway.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else from board?
The only thing I was going to talk about was the extension of the executive orders, but it sounds like it's a little preliminary, so I'll wait till next meeting.
Yeah, it just happened, and if you've watched the news at all, Many of the legislators are very upset. They feel that the governor did it without input from them. They're having backlash, if you will, from citizens that they represent on how this has affected businesses, restaurants, and everything. And they felt that the governor should have consulted with folks before he did this. I had asked folks that were involved in issuing those prior to, because I knew that they were going to run out in September. And I said, are these going to be extended? Are they going to be changed? Will some of them be dropped? And they couldn't tell me. And I think, surprise to them, the governor just came out, and my understanding is extended them all through some date next February, which there's a lot of people that are upset about it. So I don't have any firm answers. I just know that what I've read and what I've seen on the news, and it just, there's a lot of unhappy campers in Hartford on both sides of the aisle. So,
That's all I had.
okay. Greg, anything else?
No, sir. Thank you.
Motion to
Okay.
adjourn.
Okay. Listen, thank you, Dawn, for explanation. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Anthony. Anthony, thank